We're going to hear a client story from Victoria Bogner. In addition to being a certified financial planner, she's a chartered financial analyst, which is a very rigorous.
Oh, it's really hard.
Yeah.
And you work out of what office?
I work out of the Lawrence, Kansas office,
Which is?
which is just west of Kansas City.
So share with us the story.
Okay, I had a really interesting.
By the way, and
case.
I looked at this. I looked at the notes beforehand. I thought, well, this is a good story.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, it's interesting because I think it impacts more people than people realize. So I had a prospect come in a few years ago, and among other things, she had an old variable annuity, and this variable annuity had a guaranteed income benefit. So for folks listening, there are products out there that you can purchase. You stick a chunk of money in, and it's invested in the market. It goes up and down depending on how you invested it. But then you also can have a provision attached called a guaranteed income benefit. And it's a separate number. It goes up by some amount every year, regardless of what your contract value does. And then later in life, you can draw an income amount off of this guaranteed income benefit number. And the idea is that it's an upgrade from the old idea of annuitizing a contract. You don't really do that anymore. Nowadays, people turn on this income benefit, and it gives them this income for life, even if the contract value goes to zero. But if you pass away and there's anything left in the contract, it goes to your beneficiaries.
And every contract's a
great.
little different, right?
It's
Even
yes.
an insurance company might have 20 different flavors of this. As the years go by,
Absolutely.
they're underwriters. It's insurance, right? So they underwrite it and think, there's a risk here that we didn't see, and there's this. People found this loophole that they're taking advantage of. We didn't calculate this.
That's right. So even if you have a contract that has the same name as your neighbor, but you took it out a year later, it could be
very
totally different.
That's exactly right.
So,
and by the way, full disclosure, there were some products in the early 2000s that were just mispriced.
Oh my gosh, that was great.
Oh, so mispriced.
They had these 6% guaranteed minimum,
and you had full discretion on how to invest your dollars.
It was crazy.
And so we utilized them quite a bit then, but we don't so much anymore.
They didn't. They actually were mispriced.
Up.
Yeah, and the insurance companies.
And then now they try to buy their way out of the contract.
They offer more money than their contracts are worth.
You get a letter in the mail. Hey, can we buy you out of this contract, please?
Yeah.
We're losing money on you.
Okay, so continue with your.
Right. So with this particular situation, and by the way, the caveat to these products is they're very expensive, right? They can be upwards of 4% or more when you add up all the fees.
Yep.
And the catch is that fee is assessed on the guaranteed value, and then it's taken out of the contract value.
Which means that the contract is going to collapse quickly.
Exactly. So if you think about it, if your guaranteed value is twice as much as your contract value, that's not a 4% fee, it's an 8% fee. And that's really hard to overcome. So this prospect, who is now a client, she was just seeing her contract value go down each year. Her contract value was about $500,000. Her guarantee was $800,000.
And
wow,
she's thinking Did
she have it poorly invested in there, or how would that happen?
Oh yeah, it was a variable annuity, but she had it invested in conservative and fixed inside the annuity with whoever sold her this product.
Which is exactly the opposite, because if you have those guarantees, you go 100%.
You're buying insurance on your portfolio. Yes.
Yeah,
equity.
You go as far into equities as you possibly can, right? So this was just mismanaged from the start.
So she brings this to you and says, this is terrible, and you look at it and you say, wow, this is awesome?
Well, this is the interesting situation. She didn't need the income. She wanted the flexibility of having control of that money. So it's an IRA annuity. Her plan was, I'm just going to get rid of this thing, roll the money into my other IRA, and wash my hands of it.
That's probably why she came in. Hey, Vicki, I want to get rid of this. Can I transfer this to you?
Correct.
And most advisors would say, yes, sign here.
Yep.
Transfer the account.
Open up a brokerage IRA with me. We'll move it over. I'll manage it. End of story.
Just give him a little back slap on the way out.
Yeah. Win-win for everybody, right? Well, what I said was, okay, hang on. You've had this contract a long time. Give me the actual contract so I can read through it and just make sure we're not missing anything. So I got this old dusty tome of a contract, riveting reading, let me tell you. And inside that contract was one line that made all the difference. And that line was, Withdrawals from the contract value decrease the guaranteed benefit dollar for dollar.
Not percentage-wise.
Not proportionally, which most
Awesome.
contracts are.
Awesome. Unbelievable.
I know.
And there was no
So
cap on how much you could take out?
No cap. So I call the annuity company with the client, verify that this is accurate. So what we do, instead of her taking $500,000 and just moving it to an IRA and calling it a day, we moved $475,000, so 95% of the contract, over to her IRA. So $475,000 goes to the IRA. Her benefit went down from $800,000 to $325,000.
Holy
She was
smokes.
65, so 5%. We turned on the income of 5% for life. So she got over $16,000 a year of income on top of getting to roll out $475,000.
Holy
my gosh.
smokes.
Yes.
My gosh.
So if she lives another 30 years, that's almost $500,000 of extra income she would have not had.
Wow.
So-
Look, I've seen. This is an extreme example.
This is an extreme example.
It is.
But I
It is an
utilized
extreme
something
example.
similar. This is an
when they
insurance
had the
company
death
based
benefits.
out of Los Angeles. Yeah, it was dollar for dollar, not pro rata.
Yes.
And so
yeah, some companies did it like that.
And life insurance, but so what happens when they? Well, you don't have
and
to worry
it
about
only
like-
works. It works for those people that invest, and then there's a downturn in the market quickly thereafter. Or like this person was just horribly invested. I mean, it was just
Yes,
This-
exactly.
So-
So she kind of had her cake and ate it too, because she got the contract value, most of it, and this income stream for the rest of her
I
life.
mean, life would have been better for her had it been properly allocated from day one. But
That's incredible.
Correct.
And I assumed that she was happy with this decision.
Oh, very happy. Well, and the lesson is twofold. A, if you have one of these products, don't rely on the annuity company to see you through to what your best case scenario is. They are not sitting on your side of the desk. They're not your friend. You call them, they're just going to say, turn on the income or move it out. Those are your two options,
And
right?
don't-
you
And don't bring
you
it to
gotta
a financial
have a financial advisor.
Yeah, well, don't bring it to
Yeah.
a financial advisor that just says yes.
That's gonna sell annuities.
We're going to just transfer this.
Right. Right. You want to have a fiduciary. Please call Allworth. If you
there's
have
great-
an
but it-
old, crusty annuity that you don't know
Annuity
what to
or
do with
life
and
insurance
you don't
product.
understand, call us.
Or life insurance policy.
because there's some of those old
Or
life
life
insurance
insurance
policies
policy.
doesn't make sense to get rid of either.
Yes.
Right. And they can be so complex, and you really got to dig into that contract
Yeah.
to understand the ins and outs.
That's I just did it with a client. He came to me, $2 million face value life insurance, and we lowered the face value down.
Universal life?
Universal life. We lowered. It was variable universal life. We lowered the face value down so to accumulate more, and then we named all his kids the beneficiary and moved his wife off so that for estate tax purposes.
And there's no premiums paid anymore?
No, none. And the thing just yeah. But you see it all the time, right?
It's these old contracts.
Yeah.
Vicky, you see it all
and
the time.
Normal people don't realize that there are these options out there that they can do with these products. And calling the annuity company, they're not going to tell you. So you have to have somebody who knows what they're talking about, knows what they're doing, who is sitting on your side of the desk to help you navigate.
And it's
that.
primarily these older contracts because the insurance companies got wise.
They got wise
This
to
is
it,
a really
yeah.
stupid mistake on there.
Yes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember years ago a product that we used. You were allowed to manage your funds by yourself. There was 30 different investment
was
options.
crazy.
You can make trades every day. You could make the worst decisions possible.
Yeah,
The
you
insurance
still
company
had-
was on the hook. There was
was
no
crazy.
restrictions whatsoever.
We used them back in the day. It didn't last long. That was the insurance companies.
but I remember, Vicky, we had a call with the chief actuary of this insurance company. I'm not going to say the name. Years ago, because we looked at this like this is too good to be true.
we said this can't happen. This is wrong.
And we got after the call, we looked at each other like they don't really understand this, do they?
Or they weren't interested in the long term viability of the company. They understood it,
Yes.
Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah.
right? They understood
Yeah,
it.
especially
They-
those contracts that came out in 2008 after the crash, and everyone was clamoring to get into
That's
a
right.
guaranteed annuity.
And then the insurance companies were battling for market share.
That's right. Yeah. So they were saying, yeah, we'll give you a guaranteed 7% compounding return on your guaranteed income benefit.
Vicky, as always, thank you for being on the show and thank you for being part of the Allworth team. You are a valued, unappreciated coworker.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys.